What would you do if I whispered your soul's deepest truth right now? If I touched your heart, would it break or bloom into something unforgettable? What if my silence was the loudest thing I could say to you? If my gaze met yours right now, would the world disappear between us? Could you feel the pull of my soul even from miles away? What would happen if I let you see the parts of me no one else does? If I surrendered my heart, would you promise to keep it safe or set it free? What if your deepest regret was the one thing that brought us together? Could we ever love without the fear of being undone by each other? If you felt my love for just 1 second, would it haunt you forever? What if every heartbeat was a prayer for you to come back? Would you love me differently if you knew the pain I hide behind my smile? If I told you I've never been more afraid of losing you, would you stay? What would you do if I could see the very essence of your soul? If I became the voice in your head, would you listen or run? What would happen if I stopped pretending to be whole without you? Could you hold my heart if I handed it to you in pieces? If our love was written in the stars, would you still believe in fate? What if the distance between us was only a test of how strong we are? Would you trust me if I showed you the parts of me that are broken? What if I were the one you always needed but never thought you'd find? Could our love be the miracle that saves us both from ourselves? What if every moment spent apart was just a promise of what's to come? Would you hold on to me even if the world said we were wrong? If I reached out to you, would you reach back or let me go? What if you could hear the love I have for you in every heartbeat? Could our love survive the fire of everything we've been through? What would happen if I let go of the walls I built around my heart? If I asked you to stay, would you stay forever or leave with the winds? What would it feel like if I could be the one to heal your heart? If I kissed you, would it be the end of all our doubts? What if my love for you is a storm you can never escape? If you could see the depth of my love, would you drown in it? Would you be willing to love me without the fear of losing yourself? What if my love for you could mend the broken parts of you? Could you ever forgive me for the times I was too afraid to speak? What if we were meant to love each other but never meant to stay? Would you ever believe that love can heal even the deepest wounds? What if every tear I've shed was a message of love meant for you? Could you feel the echoes of my heart calling for you in the silence? If love was a choice, would you choose me, even knowing the cost? What if I let my vulnerability become the bridge to your heart? Could you forgive me for the mistakes I made while loving you? What if the pain we carry is the very thing that makes us stronger? If I told you my truth, would you accept it or turn away? What if our souls were meant to collide in this lifetime, but our hearts didn't? Could you feel the weight of my love when I'm not around? What if I gave you all of me and you chose to walk away? If you ever lost me, would you realize how much you needed me? What if my love for you is the one thing that could never fade? If I could take away your pain, would you let me heal your heart? What if my absence makes you realize just how much you love me? Could our hearts find their way back to each other after all this time? What if the love we had was meant to teach us how to grow apart? Would you love me even in the silence where words fail? What if every kiss we shared was a promise to never forget? If you could feel the truth of my love, would you be scared or safe? What if all the broken pieces of us were meant to fit together? Could you hold on to the memory of me if I had to walk away? What if loving you meant losing myself in the process? Could you love me through the darkest parts of myself? What if our love was the only thing that could save us from the world? If I showed you my soul, would you be able to see your reflection? What if everything I ever wanted was just to be seen by you? Would you love me without hesitation if I gave you everything I have? What if you were the reason I believe in love again? Could you feel my love even when I'm far away? What if our love was a song the universe meant for us to hear? If I gave you all of me, would you keep me or let me go? What if the love I've been searching for has been with you all along? Could you see my heart even when I'm too afraid to show it? What if my love for you is the one thing that never fades? If I let go of all my fears, would you still choose me? What if our love is meant to break us open so we can heal? Could you love me even when I can't love myself? What if every time I pulled away, it was only because I was afraid to love you more? If I told you I'm scared of losing you, would you hold me tighter? What if the universe is waiting for us to take the leap of faith together? Could our love heal the wounds we both carry in silence? If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. What if our souls are meant to cross paths, but our hearts can never truly meet? Could love still find a way even after everything we've been through? What if every tear you shed was a prayer for us to find our way back? If I gave you my heart, would you be able to handle its fragility? What if our love was the one thing that could never be torn apart? Could you feel me in your soul even when we're miles apart? What if the silence between us speaks louder than any words could? Would you stay if you knew my love was all I had to give? What if love wasn't meant to be easy, but we were meant to fight for it? If my love could change the world, would you be the reason I believed? What if you were my forever, but I was only meant to be a chapter? Could you ever understand the depth of my love if I couldn't say it? What if loving you was the only thing I was born to do? Would you still love me if I showed you the parts of me I keep hidden? What if our love story is written in the stars, but we have to find our way to it? Could you forgive me for the times I pushed you away when I needed you most? What if I never said goodbye? Would you have stayed? If love was a war, would you fight for me until the end? What if every moment we spent apart was just a reminder of how strong we are together? Could we survive the storm of everything we've been through? Or are we better apart? What if every piece of my heart was yours, even if you didn't know it? Would you love me even when I am broken, scared, and unrecognizable? What if the universe sent us together to teach each other how to heal? If I gave you the truth, would it set us free or tear us apart? What if the best version of me is the one I've yet to show you? Could our love survive the pressure of everything weighing us down? What if the space between us is only temporary and love will bring us back together? Would you walk away from me if you knew how deeply I needed you? What if our love was the one thing that could save us both from our past? Could you hold on to the good memories, even when it hurts to remember? What if every fight we've had is a lesson we've both needed to grow? If I let you in, would you leave me when things get too real? What if the love we have is the one thing we'll never truly lose? Could you forgive me for the times I took your love for granted? What if our souls have always known each other, even before this lifetime? Would you choose me even if it meant facing your deepest fears? What if I told you I'm still holding on, even though you've let go? Could we love each other without expecting anything in return? What if the universe put us in each other's lives for reasons we'll never understand? Would you stay if I told you I'm scared of losing the love we have? What if our love was a fire that could never burn out, no matter the distance? Could you handle the weight of my love if it meant taking a leap of faith? What if every heartbreak I've ever known was just a step toward loving you? Would you be willing to sacrifice everything to make us work? What if every time I pulled away, it was because I didn't know how to love you enough? Could we ever find our way back to each other, or is our love too far gone? What if I've always loved you, even in the moments I didn't know how to show it? If I gave you my trust, Would you protect it or let it fall apart? What if our love was the light that could guide us through the darkness? Could you still love me if I showed you the truth I've been hiding? What if every step I took away from you was really me trying to find my way back? Would you walk away from me if you knew how deeply my heart belonged to you? What if we're meant to heal each other, but neither of us is ready? Could you love me without fear of losing yourself in the process? What if our souls were meant to be together, but our hearts are too broken? Would you trust me with the parts of you that no one else gets to see? What if the love we've been searching for has always been within us? Could you forgive me for the moments I pushed you away, afraid of what I felt? What if you're the reason I believe in love again, even when it's hard to trust? Would you still choose me if you knew all the ways I've failed?